Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 14 of What If Naruto Dreamed to Surpass the Gods. Remember to give this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Master all those Uzumaki skills and techniques over on Anime King 2. And over Anime King, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Awaken Godly Red Lightning. So go ahead, check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is we leap on into this new episode starts. The intro. So the last spot we left off, Gar was in his hospital bed. His body felt sore, judging that majority of the tail-based chakra was yanked out of him, and only a small amount, and because of the token leeches from Konoha while he was alive anyway. His body was sore rather badly, as Naruto appeared by his windowsill. Since their talk in Konoha, that was what changed Gaara to the man that he is today. And for that he shall be forever grateful to Naruto for what he did for him. As Gaara was looking forward to one day when Naruto would take the seat of Hokage as well, as all of them knew that it was not beyond him after all. He had the wisdom, he had the knowledge, he had the strength to back it up. As he thanked his friend once again, later that night Naruto stood on the roof of the hotel. Temari arrived as she came to thank him for what he did. However, she did notice something. It was between him and Ino. She was quite perceptive as she saw the way Ino looked at him. She knew that something happened in their past, but whatever it was, Ino was not over him one bit. Those longing looks, that look in her eyes. She saw that look before, and she knew that Ino still had deep feelings for him. They only live once, so if you had the opportunity, you should take it. So with that, the group moved out the next day. Making their way calmly, it didn't take them too long. However, night came down as they decided to stop in the Fire Nation, at a 5-star hotel. However, the place was really incredibly fancy. To their surprise though, the owner came over and greeted Naruto with so much respect, it seemed strange. However, the owner said that Naruto owned the place. Now that was shocking to most of them that did not know, as he was their age and yet he was just so more advanced than all of them combined. So with that, they got put up for the night, and the 5-star treatment was amazing. However, Ino did not partake in most of it. She later came by to explain why, as she didn't feel like she should take anything regarding what she did in the past. However, she was confused why he was so not angry at her. He deserved to be angry and yell at her for just calling things quits and not even giving him an explanation. However, he did not show that one bit, and that made her believe that she was the only one that was obsessed about him, and he never thought the same way. However, he said something that shocked her though. He said he did love her. He loved her. Now that was surprising, and she never knew that, and it pained her heart to know that she was the one that, well, turned him down. But then she was young and stupid and did not feel like she had the proper right to stand by his side, like she was not worthy enough. However, he did not seem to be that upset about that she thought, and he not to mention encouraged her if she was alright, and she should be the one here apologizing, but he was just so nice, and it made her feel that much more terrible for what she did. However, she wanted them to be back friends once again, as she missed his friendship a lot, as he agreed. Surprisingly, things work out rather well. So with that, They embarked to Konoha the next morning. The rumors quickly went around about his defeat of the two extra ninjas. Well, his popularity just skyrocketed even more. Tsunade had no doubt now that Naruto was one of the strongest ninjas within Konoha. Stronger than her to be exact. Pain was fierce, he lost Sasuke's spine network and he also lost Deidara transportation method, and that was by flying by the birds. So he was truly and really pissed off, losing two crucial members of his operation because of their resources. He told the others to stop the search of the Kaiba Jinchuriki because he would be the one to go in after him himself. He will bring the wrath of God down upon him. Meanwhile that was going on, Jiraiya's spies had gathered information of a link between Guren and Orochimaru. The spies that he had in the sound could not go too close, however. Guren was a bigger deal in this than anyone else, as she was close to Orochimaru. So when the information came back to Jiraiya, as he was too far, he sent a message back to Konoha by the Toads. As Naruto relayed this to Tsunade, Naruto had the speed to get out there before anyone else. However, this was dangerous. But from what the spy said, she was alone, but still, Tsunade did not trust it. However, Naruto was able to convince her to let him go. So with that, he made his way out there. It didn't take him too long to locate Guren, who was with Yukimaru. The moment she got sight of him, she sent Yukimaru away with one of her crystal clones. They were not like normal clones, that meant she did not get the feedback when they dispel. As she tried to fight Naruto, however, the fight was mostly one-sided with him bodying her. She did not stand a chance in hell against him. As she tried to flee, but he broke out of her prison and caught up with her rather quickly, leaving her in a tough situation as she had to fight. But once again, she found herself outgunned, outpowered, outmanned. She was not strong enough to hold him back as she was soundly defeated. She thought Yukimaru had gotten away though, however, Naruto was holding on to Yukimaru. That was the last thing she saw before she blacked out. As she woke up and found herself in a cell, Naruto spoke to Ibiki. Ibiki told him that he just shouldn't kill her, because if he failed, he will be the one to get information out of her. However, Naruto was sure that he would not fail. Guren saw him as she cursed at him, but he stepped directly in her cell, not fearing her one bit. And he then proceeded to tell her that if she didn't tell him what he wanted, he was going to kill the kid. At first, she did not buy it one bit. Konoha had their moral code, they wouldn't kill a kid. However, when he gripped her throat and looked her in the eyes, it was then that she saw it. That cold, wicked eyes. Someone that was willing to do whatever it takes. She thought about her position and she thought about Yukimaru. She had taken the boy's mother away and she didn't want him to suffer in this world. Without her, he would be lost. However, she was struggling. But she came to love Yukimaru more than anything else. And even if that mean relinquish her ties to Orochimaru as long as Naruto agreed to allow them to leave once this was done, as she and Yukimaru would find another place to live, out of this town, out of Konoha vicinity. He agreed, as he can let the Hokage agree with this. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place of yourself. So as we begin this new episode, Orochimaru was severely pissed off. He was angry. Really so. The reason being, Guren has not returned. The timing was starting to get to him. The base that he was currently located in had a lot of sound ninjas inside. However, none of them as competent as Guren. None of them for him to truly trust. Yes, they all fear him, however, he didn't want them to see him in this state. A state of weakness. Although in this state he was still a fearsome person, but still, his time was coming. He had to switch bodies soon enough, as he could feel himself losing strength. However, Guren had not made her way yet. Something was definitely wrong and he just didn't know what it was. There was a knock on his chamber doors. Who is it? Lord Orochimaru. Guren-sama has returned. His eyes light up at hearing that. Send her to me immediately, he said. At once. So with that, Orochimaru sat on the bed that he was in, unmoving as he lay there, wondering what took her so long, as he would like to hear the explanation, but he's gonna warn her to never, ever run this late ever again. She was his right hand for a reason. Kabuto would have never been this late, especially for something between them. As he was still angered by the fact that Kabuto was dead, killed by that bloody red flash. Once he had the Uchiha's body, once Sasuke was ready, Sasuke was in the base to the east, not too far away from here. Once Sasuke is ready, he's gonna take over his body. And he's gonna become the ultimate shinobi. A being that cannot be stopped with those eyes. The Uchiha blood running through his veins. He would take down all of his foes. He would crush them under his might. The chamber door slowly opened up as Guren made her way inside. Orochimaru noticed that there was a few bandages on her. As he raised the eyebrow at that, "Explain yourself," he said. "My lord, I'm afraid I got attacked on the way here." Now this confused Orochimaru, as she was laying low. So who was the one that did this? By who, he asks. "I'm not sure, but they were all wearing masks, and they were fast. However, I was able to safely defeat them and get here. However, as you can see, they roughed me up a bit. There were 6 of them in total. They work in a group, all working together perfectly. They didn't speak even after my taunts. They just remained quiet and attacked. There were several collateral damage in the village that we were fighting in. It just goes to show that these people did not care about any unnecessary life. They cut through whatever it takes to get to me." Now this got Orochimaru perplexed. Guren, while being his right hand, wasn't really known by many others. So it begged the question, who was it that was after Guren? And why? Was it because of her link to him? This was not good, as he didn't like when people had a close connection to him. "You made sure that you weren't followed here correctly?" "Yes, my lord. I made a detour, that is why it took me so long to get here. I wouldn't want them coming here and finding you, my lord," she said. "Good," he said. "We will find out who is behind this later. But for now," Orochimaru noticed a slight switch as he saw the look in her eyes. Something was wrong. The moment she walked in here and weaved this story, he knew that something seemed off. However, he was inclined to believe her for now, until he made sure that she was telling the truth. However, before he could, she reached, as she pulled out a kunai. Orochimaru saw it, his eyes instantly went wide as she launched it towards him. The snake-sounding eyes went wide. A few minutes earlier, as Naruto and his group stood on top of a small hill looking down towards the base. It was well secretive and covered, and it would be hard to locate if you did not know exactly where you were looking for. As Naruto and Kakashi, Sakura, and Ino filling the spot of Sasuke not being on the team was here. Naruto was enough to handle Orochimaru, and Tsunade knew that. Especially if he had not taken Sasuke's body yet, which Guren had said that he had not. He must be weakened. The rest of the team was here to provide backup for him. While the sound ninjas may vary in numbers, they weren't that skilled, and she was sure that this team could handle them. Naruto's main objective was to get Orochimaru and erase him from the face of the earth, while the others provide backup. As Guren had a deal with the Hokage, as long as she led them to Orochimaru, she would be given Yukimaru and allowed to leave. She had no ill will against any of them. The only thing she wanted was Yukimaru. Tsunade actually believed her as well. She just wanted to leave this place and never come back. And it wasn't like they were going to offer her a chance of becoming a Konoha ninja, given that she was a previous right-hand man for Orochimaru. So that was the best deal they could work out in this short amount of time. Because if Orochimaru knew that she was gone for too long, he would switch to another base. She also knew the location of Sasuke, given that she was returning back to said base. Sakura wanted to go there and check it out as well. However, they had to wait, because if they did not take care of Orochimaru first, he would arrive and interrupt their plans of bringing back Sasuke. So with that, Guren made her way inside. As they were all aware of the plan, Ino stood there. So far everything was going good with her and Naruto. She knew that she shouldn't be thinking about this, especially in this time. as all of them were ready to move in at a moment's notice. However, ever since he said that he had loved her in the hotel, she could barely sleep, as she never knew that it affected him that badly as well. She thought that she was the only one, but it seems like she was mistaken greatly. And now she felt downright horrible, and she just didn't know what to do. She didn't know how she could make this right. However, their friendship was coming along, and that made her feel even worse, that he was just willing to forgive her and not say anything about it, like everything was okay. She shook her head as she had to focus on the task at hand. They would get the signal when they see him flash away. Sakura was ready. After all these years, she would finally see Sasuke again, and she would not fail in bringing him back this time. She would not. Kakashi kept his mind clear. On the back of the soon erupt. It was then that Naruto was gone in a flash. "Alright, move," said Kakashi as he made his way down there. The guard in front of the base was quickly taken care of as they made their way inside. Meanwhile, Orochimaru found himself through the wall as he was on the opposite side. A pissed off, violent, ferocious look on his face. "Guren, what have you done?" he said. She didn't want to meet his gaze, as Guren rushed out of the room as fast as possible. However, the main thought in Orochimaru's mind was to kill her. But there was something stopping him. A person. There he stood in all of his glory. The red flash. The red death. The silent streak. There has been many names for him over the past couple of years, as Orochimaru was dreading this encounter for a long time now. 3 times. Orochimaru is aberrant at that. 3 times you're able to get away from me now. And in those 3 times, you're able to live and flee from me capturing you or executing you. However, there will not be a fourth. Orochimaru chuckled. "Don't let your fame get to your head, boy," he said. "You might have gotten stronger, but I am still one of the Sanins, and I will crush you." It seems you don't understand the situation that you're in. Orochimaru was waiting for his reinforcements to rush inside. However, none came. "Seems like you brought help. Given your reputation, I thought you'd have come alone. They're here to make sure that they don't intervene between me and you, because I want you all to myself," said Naruto. "And I can assure you, today would be your last day breathing this fresh air, because I'm gonna send you to hell where you belong." Orochimaru snarled. However, he knew this was bad. Bad for him mostly. He wasn't prepared already to fight Naruto in these conditions. He was at a disadvantage. As Naruto slowly reached, poof, his sword appears. He unsheathed the thing. As he flexed his arm once, then twice, Orochimaru quickly regurgitated his Kusanagi blade. "Come at me, boy," he said. As that is exactly what Naruto did. The two of them move as they clash. Blade clashing against blade. Orochimaru had to duck as a chain almost skewered his skull. He flipped away as he landed on the wall. 3 chains tore the entire wall down as Naruto moved and slashed. When Orochimaru moved, the other wall was sliced by a wind gust that separated in half. The snake Sannin turned as he ran. Rushing through the halls, the chain grabbed his leg. He turned and was about to slash at it until he saw a kunai coming towards his face. He opened his mouth as a snake came out with a sword out of his throat. It knocked the kunai to the side, giving him enough time to prepare. As Naruto appeared right beside him, a Rasengan in hand, Orochimaru turned as he dragged the Kusanagi right through him. However, that is when he felt a chain wrapped around his throat. The Naruto in front of him poofed away. His entire body was yanked through the broken wall as he crashed right through it before he was thrown into another part of the base. The chain was still tightly wrapped around his throat as it kept on bashing him through walls after walls. The snake Sannin started to feel a pain envelop his entire being, and it started tightening, cutting off all oxygen. However, he was a Sannin for a reason. He raised his hand as he used the command that he had over the Kusanagi to stab right through the chain, the Kusanagi being able to cut right through it, because of the metal properties that made up of the Kusanagi. As he looked around cautiously, he couldn't see Naruto anywhere. As he checked the surrounding areas, that is when his ears picked up on a sound. Holy shit, he leaped out of the room before the entire place was nuked by a beam of lightning that shredded through all the four walls. The entire room exploded in that spark of shower that would have surely burned him to a crisp. Orochimaru fled down the halls, moving as fast as possible to get in a more open area. That is when he noticed a single kunai in front of him. He paused. When did he poof? Orochimaru looked down as he saw Naruto reappear. A fist connected with his chin, snapping his head up. He felt like he was hit by a train. As his head was now looking up, a clone appeared in mid-air from the broken rubble. Shit, he had his clothes transform. The clone dropped a boot into his skull. Orochimaru felt the impact knocked him senseless. He staggered back, blood bursting from his forehead as he tried to regain his composure. However, he was slammed in the stomach before he was kneed in the chin, causing his head to snap back as his ear was grabbed. His face was then proceeded and slammed through the wall as he was tossed into another room. A massive fire style enveloped the entire place, almost burning him to a crisp. Lucky enough, he was able to slip through the tiny hole and get to the other side. However, as his face came through, followed by the rest of his body, a Rasengan planted right in his throat. He had no choice but to quickly shed his skin and fly through the other section. As he started to flee, his bottom half transformed into a snake. Sweat started glistening across his forehead as he was panicking. This entire place was a mine, full of Naruto transformed all over the place. He could not trust a single thing. As he opened his mouth and released countless snakes to wash over the area, so that he can know that it was a safe path. As he moved with them, several clones dispelling. The kid had clones all over the place. Orochimaru finally found himself near the system that he would use to get underground and escape out of here. However, he looked down there as he saw. He turned and ran as the entire place exploded. Damn that Guren, he thought. She must have told them about the escape hatch. After all, how would they know? The entire place exploded from the other side. It was the backup that he brought with him. Orochimaru could hear the fighting going on the other side. Damn it, he frowned to himself. This was bad. He had no choice. Using his blade, he carved right through the ceiling as he climbed up and started to make his way. After all, they were underground, he had to flee somewhere else. Orochimaru quickly came to surface. He was finally free. Now he had to... A circle around him, clones erupted. Chains latched onto each of his arms and legs, some of them digging straight into his flesh. The snake Sanin screamed out in agonizing pain. Uzumaki style, he heard behind him. 50 consecutive slices. The snake Sanin screamed in agonizing pain as his body was slashed and cut and torn apart, until deep wounds started to gash out blood like a river. The chains started to yank, they were going to pull him apart. He had no choice. If he did not do this now, he would die. As he pushed his ultimate technique, the 8 branches technique, all the clones were blown away as Orochimaru's body exploded out violently. However, what emerged was nothing but a monster. It was a massive 8-headed snake with several massive thorns behind it. The thing was gigantic, far bigger than Manda, white scales around them. As Orochimaru emerged from the center head, as he was a snake's tongue, as he tracked Naruto to over the side as he saw him. With big as he was, even the distance between them, it was nothing. You pushed me to go this far and now you will suffer for that, Orochimaru said. This, behold, is my ultimate technique. In this form, I am virtually unstoppable. There's nothing that you can do against me. I possess powers of tailed beasts in this form, which I will use to trample you and erase you from existence. Now do you understand the bane of your attack? You are nothing compared to me, child. I am Orochimaru, soon to be an immortal, perfect being that will not fall to the likes of you. I am not like those other incompetent fools, and I will not die to a being like you. Orochimaru didn't expect to get nothing back though, as Naruto's eyes looked bored as hell as he looked at him. Now that really worried the snake Sanin. Over to the side, bodies of sound ninjas littered the ground almost everywhere. The place was destroyed as the three Konoha ninjas held their own. Sakura was healing Kakashi's arm as he got sliced. That is when the ground started to tremble as a massive thing emerged. What the hell is that? Said Ino in shock as she looked up towards the beast. Over to the side, Guren stood in the trees over the far distance as she paused. She needed them to get Yukimaru, so she had to stay here. As much as it pained her to say it, she needed to make sure Yukimaru was okay. And she needed to rely on them, and that pained her. However, the sight of this abomination scared her. She has never seen Orochimaru use this form before. However, she could feel the raw, immense power coming from the thing, and it was nothing normal. She knew that the Red Flash and Kakashi was powerful ninjas, and those two girls were the trainees of Tsunade. However, will it be enough? However, she was seriously underestimating how powerful Naruto actually was. However, she could see Lord Orochimaru, and surprisingly he knew where she was. As he looked over towards her, "Guren!" he shouted. As her blood ran cold, "You will suffer for your betrayal." She started to panic. That is when a new source appeared. As she felt it from where she was. Whatever this was, it was extremely calm. Potent but calm as well. It felt unsettling, it felt great, it felt untouchable. Orochimaru looked down. "Ah, I see. So you've become a sage as well. Well, it doesn't matter," he said, "your power still doesn't compare to the likes of me. Let me show you what I mean. I'll obliterate everything along with you." The seven snakes came together. As Orochimaru held out his hand, they started to feed chakra into one of their techniques. The ball that appeared in front of Orochimaru was nothing but gigantic. Ino and the others started to panic as she started to move. However, Kakashi grabbed her hand. "We must move," he said. "But what about Naruto? Naruto can take care of himself. Now move!" As he knew that the aftermath of this technique was not going to be pretty. But, come on Ino, Naruto can take care of himself. He's one of the strongest people I know. He'll be fine. Remember, he was the one that told us to get out of the era if it becomes too destructive. You know he wouldn't want to see you get hurt." Ino knew that she was telling the truth, but still, she was worried. But she had no choice but to move. 5 clones appear on Naruto, all of them, showing the signs of Sage mode. Naruto held out both of his hands, a Rasengan form, before he promptly pushed those two Rasengan in together. However, they were not normal. Instead of the normal bluish chakra, the chakra was green, as it had a green tint to it. The first clone apply wind, the second clone apply water, third lightning, fourth earth nature chakra. All of those chakra combinations should be impossible to meld together. However, the fifth clone held his hand above Naruto's as he stabilized the technique. As Naruto spread his senses when he felt the Konoha ninjas were far enough away, as Orochimaru took a while to gather that enough energy. However, Naruto's technique started to change the landscape. The ground underneath him and the clones broke away. The violent output started to give off violent tendencies. However, the clone above Naruto quickly suppressed everything by using his chains to wrap around the technique, as he confined it into a small ball. "Now you die!" Orochimaru said as he threw the technique. As the chakra that was connected to all of the snakes launched the technique forward, a ball of purple chaotic energy that started to tear through the land. As the team was running away, to their surprise, Naruto flashed beside them using the Harashin Kuna that Kakashi had in his pouch. "Naruto, you're..." However, he slammed his hands together as hundreds of chains came out of his body and wrapped around all of them in a dome-like structure. Each link of the chains had sealing barriers between it, as the group knew that this was going to be bad. However, the real Naruto was still standing there, He started to sweat under the weight of this technique. As Orochimaru's technique was coming towards him, he finally shouted out, "Elemental Rasengan," as he fired off his own technique, much smaller in comparison. However, when the two things collided, the entire place exploded. A bright, brilliant lights through the links of the chains. Kakashi and others saw it as a chain ball was blown away. They were thrown through the sky. However, the chains wrapped around their bodies, stopping them from being all jumbled up and hitting their heads, protecting them 100%. As the clone was sweating, containing this, as the action of this jutsu was nothing normal. Lucky enough, Guren was a distance away, which she was told to get out of the area, as she was protected from all of this. However, the technique still reached her as she felt the massive gust blew past her, throwing her hair back. When the smoke and dust finally cleared away, what Guren saw shocked her to her very core. She knew that Orochimaru's technique was powerful, but the amount of chakra that he possessed did not have the vicinity to do this. But with Naruto technique combined in the aftermath, the base was gone. But not only that, the only thing that remained was a smoldering crater that was so wide that it encompassed everything. Every sort of trees, rocks, and every formal stature was gone, destroyed down to dust crypts. And the most of the backlash was towards Orochimaru's back. That meant Naruto technique overpowered his, which was rather shocking given the size comparison. But it just goes to show, size doesn't matter when it comes to power like this, as Naruto technique was more confined, and when it erupted, all hell broke loose. As she could not see Orochimaru anywhere, but she could not see Naruto anywhere either. As she wondered if the both of them killed one another, she couldn't allow this. She knew that he was the one that pushed the deal for the Hokage to allow her and Yukimaru to flee away. But if he were to die, they might pull the deal, because she sent their most promising warrior into a battle where he died from. However, she could not see anyone surviving that blast. The entire terrain, the entire land had been changed. Meanwhile, with the Konoha group, the chain slowly unraveled as the clone dropped to his knees before he poofed away. Naruto, Ino thought with wide eyes as she rushed forward. The group had to follow her as they moved as well. Meanwhile, in the massive crater, something was moving. It was the head of one of the snakes. However, it was dead. But Orochimaru crawled right out of the snake head. His body was battered and badly burned. His left arm was just hanging as he crawled on the ground trying to pick himself up. The technique had hit his hydro snake. It had shredded apart. The 5 elements being able to overpower his own technique. That was the power for Biju Bomb. However, the natural engine, not to mention the raw chakra from that child, Orochimaru was astonished. That technique could literally wipe out a village if pushed properly. Because Orochimaru felt it when he made contact with his own technique, it was unstable. Certain elements did not clash perfectly, so it did not give off the full expectation. But yet still it was able to overpower his own technique and swallow him in that blast. His body was so burnt and destroyed from the inside out, as the lightning and wind had affected him internally. And not to mention nature angel was currently rushing through his coils, trying to turn his body to stone. The after effect of such a technique was colossal. However, it was only because of his hydro snake that he was able to survive. But there was no way in hell that Uzumaki was able to survive. He was probably dead, killed by his own stupid technique. Orochimaru chuckled as he started to crawl away. That is when something ripped through his back. The snake saw him and cried out as the pain was agonizing, worse than anything else because he was already injured. His body slammed into the ground as he coughed up blood. Unable to support himself, the only thing that he saw was someone marching towards him. "You, how are you?" Orochimaru paused, realizing how ridiculous the statement was. "Is Harashin. You teleported away before the attack commenced. As Naruto stood there, he was completely unharmed. "You bastard," he said, a sneer on his face. Orochimaru tried to move, however. The chain ripped through him once again. "Enough," said Naruto as he bashed him in the ground. "I told you that you wouldn't be leaving this place alive. Today is the day that you finally rest. That I put you down, something I've been thinking about for the past couple of years. You shall die for what you did to Sarutobi. And I will make sure that you suffer," said Naruto. "Like how he suffered, knowing that he could not change you in the end. You think your sappy story would get to me," Orochimaru said. "You think I'm trying to give you a second chance? Then you must not know me at all. I don't give second chances," said Naruto as he stepped forward. Orochimaru tried his best, however the chain wrapped around his throat so tight he could not do anything. It dug into the creases of his arms and yanked him closer as Orochimaru realized that the kid was not coming to him, he was pulling towards him. Naruto held out his hand that was shaking a bit. As a Rasengan formed, Orochimaru watched as Naruto applied more chakra. However, the Rasengan started to change color though. It started to become purple. The fox opened his eyes within the cell. "That was really stupid. Using an untested technique. You had no idea it would have taken so much out of you," said Kurama as he lazy back. "I guess you're right there," said Naruto. He had not been able to use his elemental Rasengan because it was too well destructive, and he couldn't use it in Mount Miyaboko or any other battlefield because there was allies around. And this was the first chance. However, he did not know that it would take so much out of him, but given the destruction, it was worth it. And now he had to rely on a bit of the fox chakra that was already in his system. However, Naruto was able to control his emotions more than most people, so he was not being affected at all. "Enough of this wretched snake. Kill this thing already. It's just becoming annoying," said Kurama. "Thanks for your support," said Naruto in a sarcastic tone. The fox made a huff as he returned back to going quiet. Orochimaru found himself yanking and trying to pull away, however, Naruto did not allow him to do so, as he slammed him on the ground and aimed the technique right towards his heart. The snake suddenly released a dying croak as Naruto drive the technique down, tearing out his entire middle section, shredding his heart, his internal organs. Everything was destroyed. As the last thought and the last thing the snake saw was Naruto looking down towards him. After years upon years of eluding Konoha, he was finally taken down, put to rest, dead. Naruto's chain subsided when he could no longer feel the life force inside the man. "Naruto!" It took them a while to arrive because of how deep the crater was. As Ino saw him as she rushed towards him, something didn't as Naruto started to fall. However, she was quick enough to rush over and grab him as he collapsed right on top of her, as she dropped on her butt. However, she held on to him rather tightly and securely. She checked him over rather quickly, however. He wasn't injured, however his chakra was low. Still high for a normal person, but for him it was low. She's never felt his chakra this low before. Whatever did this took a lot out of him. As she looked around, she looked like a mere ant in an entire ravine. Could someone really be able to produce this amount of destruction? It wasn't even humanly possible yet. If she wasn't here to witness it with her eyes, she would say that. But she saw what happened. And he really did pull it off. As she looked over towards the mutilated corpse of Orochimaru, a gigantic hole in his entire upper torso. He was dead. She looked back down towards Naruto as she saw him chewing something. What did you do?" As he got back up. "Chakra pill," he said. "You shouldn't be taking those in the state that you're in right now. The mission is still not yet complete." "I know, but no buts," he said to her. As the others came back down, the side effect of a chakra pill boosts your chakra substantially, however, it had effects on the body. However, she supposed that Naruto should be able to bear through it. For one, he was a Jinchuriki, and not to mention, because of his Uzumaki background, well, he was able to heal faster than most. She had did a lot of research about his clan, and about his last name as well, the Uzumakis that were wiped out a long time ago. Kakashi was shocked as he looked around at all the destruction. To think that two people could do this. The location was as big as the Valley of the End, and the crater was as big as the location. This seemed humanly impossible. However, it was possible. It was a good thing that no one was around here to witness this happening. Because the nations knew that Naruto was strong, however, they didn't know what was the vastness of his techniques. However, if his name was linked back to this, fear and anxiety would cover the people, and they would start to think of him as a deterrent in the elemental nation, which he was because of his power. However, he'd not tried to bring that deterrent down on any other nation before. So it was a good thing that no one is here to witness this except for... As Kakashi glanced over towards Guren, "Where is Sasuke?" he said to her. Sakura perked up at that after checking over if Naruto was okay. As Guren knew that she only had to lead the way, she didn't have to go in. However, they were gonna be stopped by a few guards. However, they proceed as they made their way after sealing Orochimaru's body away for proof, that is. Making their way towards the next location, which wasn't far from here but far enough for no one to be able to tell what was going on. It took them a while. As Naruto moved along with them, Sakura was convinced that they could convince Sasuke to return back with them, but they were going to bring him back even if they have to use force as well. So with that they move, as Ino glanced towards Naruto to make sure that he was okay, but he seemed to be doing fine, despite taking that chakra pill. Making their way hopping from tree to tree, as Guren was lagging behind them a bit, as she didn't want to get caught up into anything that might end with her dying. Not to mention with the situation that was taking place now. Although Orochimaru was dead, that means that there wasn't much to link her back to all of this, but she just didn't want to be a part of it. She just wanted to leave and get the hell out of here without anyone seeing her. It didn't take them too long as they arrived towards the location, as they were intending on getting this done before any much time could pass. After all, they couldn't allow Sasuke to leave this place. It didn't take them too long as they arrived towards the location. Arriving there though, the guards that were in their way, well, they went straight for them. The place was large and they had to search for Sasuke. Kakashi believed that Naruto did not have time to enter into sage mode, given that he had to draw upon the natural energy. However, Naruto can do that automatically, but there was a reason why he did not do that. So they had to split up. Guren decided to stay outside, as she wasn't going to intervene. All she wanted was to get the hell out of here and get this done. So with that, they made their way inside. They split apart. Naruto Senjutsu quickly flooded his body. As he rushed to where Sasuke was, he sent Sasuke. The others were not close. He proceeded to go through hand signs as he slammed his hand down. A massive earth wall rose up and blocked off the area, acting like there was absolutely nothing there. He had a reason for doing this. As Naruto made his way, calmly but slowly he made his way towards the room, where he sent Sasuke in. Naruto pulled out his blade. Sasuke was indeed inside as he was lying down in the bed. Recently he's been having some nightmares about Naruto coming to kill him. However, he tried not to think about that. Suddenly he felt something as he turned. His door was sliced. Sasuke quickly got to his feet, surprised who would dare to do something like this. His eyes widened when Naruto stepped foot in the room. Sasuke was indeed frightened, thinking that this was one of his nightmares. However, this was real. This was no dream, this was reality. Despite knowing that he has gotten strong over the years, Sasuke heard the things that Naruto has done over the years as well. And given the recent encounters and the words that still stuck with him to this day. "If you ever betray the village, I'll kill you." Sasuke was cautious. "It's been a long time, Sasuke," said Naruto. Instantly he drew for his blade, as he saw Naruto holding on to that right-handed blade of his that was quite durable. "Do you remember what I tell you while I was training you? If you were to ever betray the village, I would hunt you down and take your life. Tell me you remember." "So that's it, huh?" Sasuke said. You're an envoy after all. You're not supposed to talk to the enemy, either kill or take them in. I guess you're here to kill me. What else am I supposed to do? You did the one thing I told you not to do. You betrayed the village. You betrayed your home. You're an enemy. And you deserve to die. Well, I'm not gonna go down that easily, Sasuke said. This isn't like all those years ago. I've changed. I've grown. I've gotten a lot stronger. Yes, you have. But I've gotten a lot stronger as well, Sasuke, and I can assure you. If we were to come to blows, I will kill you. Do your worst, Sasuke said, as Naruto looked at him. Sasuke prepared himself. Tell me, once you do kill Itachi, what would you do? No, that was confusing. Sasuke never expected for there to be more talking. What? I said, once you do kill Itachi, what will you do? What does it matter if you're gonna try and kill me, Sasuke said. You know, beforehand I would have slit your throat, without even thinking. However, the years I've changed, said Naruto as he walked forward. Sasuke was on his guard, as Naruto stopped a few feet in front of him, and sheathed his blade. Now that confused and surprised Sasuke. I've realized something. If I do bring you back to the village, you would just come to resent and hate everyone there. Because you were not able to fulfill the one thing you want to do, and that is to get revenge on your brother. For years, the thought of Orochimaru being alive, out there after killing the third, it plagued me. And I know that I wasn't able to do anything because I wasn't able to find him. However, you seem to have the means and ideas how to find your brother, and how to get your revenge, even if you die in the process, don't you? Of course, Sasuke said. I didn't spend years training for nothing. Well, Orochimaru is dead. What? I killed him with my own two bare hands. Sasuke did not find that too surprising. Orochimaru was weak, and he was planning to do the same thing. Ah, I see, said Naruto. So you aren't a complete idiot. What? Sasuke said. You wanted Orochimaru dead as much as I did. Of course, you think I would allow him to take over my body. At least, you've not gone and done something that I would have beaten the living crap out of you for. As Naruto released a sigh, go. Leave this place. Find whoever you want to find and hunt Itachi down and fight him. You're letting me go? Yes. As I said, if I do bring you back by force, you will just come to resent and hate everyone. As Naruto reached into his pouch, Sasuke was still cautious. However, Naruto gave him a 3-pronged kunai. I don't know what your range will be. Take this, apply chakra to it, and I'll be able to piggyback from your signal and arrive towards your location, wherever you might be. You're really letting me go? Sasuke was truly surprised. Yes, said Naruto. There's a chance that Itachi might kill you in the process. Sasuke knew that was a possibility, but he did not care. However, this is what you've wanted to do for the majority of your life, after everything he took away from you. I know if I was in the same condition, I would have felt the same way. The Hokage doesn't know that I'm doing this, and I would like to keep this away from her and everyone else. Do you understand me? Yeah, said Sasuke. Do what you have to do, and once this is over, do not let me come after you. Return back to the village where you belong. Thank you, Sasuke said, as he was truly grateful for this. And it was good that he didn't have to come to blows with Naruto, that he understood. Sasuke knew that this was something he had to do alone, and it seemed like Naruto understood it as well. As Naruto came forward, "You're my friend," he said. "You might have messed up because the pain and everything that your brother took away from you was too much. But you still won't be coming off scot-free. Once you return, we will fight," said Naruto. "Huh. Well, I'm looking forward to that," said Sasuke, "to finally show you that I've grown stronger as well." Sasuke was actually liking this moment. As Naruto went through hand sign, "You have to go," he said. "I set up a 3-prompt stamp right at the border of this country. This should give you enough leeway to get out of here. I will simply tell them that we did not find you, and we still have to search. So go, said Naruto as he slammed his hand on Sasuke's chest. The sealing mark appeared as Sasuke nodded as he was gone. Sasuke reappeared distance away. This was not how he expected the day to go one bit. However, this was better than what he expected. Instead of fighting for his life, he got away, scot-free. The only thing that Sasuke ever wanted was power to kill Itachi. It's not like he resented or hated the Konoha ninjas. After all, Naruto was one of his closest friends, as they became good friends when he was teaching him. Not to mention when he fully took over his teaching for Kakashi. However, there was a few people that Sasuke had to get first, as he needed their aid. He was going to keep Naruto's name out of this, as he didn't want Naruto to get involved. After all, he knew that the Akatsuki was after the Tail Beast. He did not trust the progress of Itachi and his partner, as Sasuke had learned a lot over the past couple of years. Going after Naruto, and Naruto ended up, well, killing Itachi, as he couldn't allow that to happen. He was the one that had to kill Itachi. At least he glad that Naruto understood what he had to do was necessary for him to live with himself. So with that, Sasuke moved off. Moments later, Sakura was angry. He's not here, she said as she looked around, as they scoured the entire place. He's not, said Naruto, as he sat down on one of the nearby benches. Guren thought that this meant that they were gonna skip out on our deal. Hey, I brought you to where I last saw him. Not to mention I gave you Orochimaru. Just because you didn't find him doesn't mean that you can skip out of my... It's alright, said Naruto as he gave her a look. However, she once again flinched. Ever since he had gripped her throat, it had marked her psyche a bit, as she could not look him in the eyes, as she felt a literal shiver went up her spine. You promised to bring us to Orochimaru. That was the main thing. We will still grant you the child so you can leave. There's nothing to get all fussy about. Time skip. The group arrived back to Konoha, as she demanded to see Yukimaru immediately, as she was taken to the boy. While that was going on, Tsunade was frustrated and happy. For one, they did get Orochimaru, they did kill the damn snake. For the other, it would have been so easy to get Sasuke now, without Orochimaru watching over him. However, it seems like they're not going to get their hands on him. Sakura was pretty bummed out. However, Ino was there to cheer her up and tell her that he will find him, as Naruto and Tsunade was the only one left in the office. She uncorked a bottle of expensive sake as she poured a glass for herself and him. He wasn't much of a drinker, however. He did like the taste every now and then as she sat in the couch. Well, at least a big part of your mission was a success. You got rid of that damn snake once and for all. Yes, I suppose that is good. He's been a bane in Konoha's side for too long, and now that he's finally gone, it's a lot better. Yes, said Naruto as he sipped on the sake. I suppose you're happy about his death. After all, he was ruining your reputation as a Sannin. Yes, you're right there, she said. Finally, the reputation is just left with me and Jerry alone, without his plague words or his existence tampering with that. However, I was thinking after you left, if you did manage to get Sasuke to return back with you, it would be surprising. Without force. What do you mean? Said Naruto. I mean, he spent his almost entire life searching for a way to kill his brother. I doubt you would have come back that easily. That meant you would have to force him. Something of course you can do, however. He would hate all of you and us and this village, and seek nothing but rage in his mind if we took away him from his goal. Yes, I suppose you're right, however, it is still beneficial that he gets back to the village. I know that. However, Naruto, I've come to understand you over the past couple of years. You're a rather complex person ever since you came back. You've changed. You're a lot more calmer, more docile. He raised the eyebrow. Don't worry, it's a good thing, she said. However, you're a lot smart as well. And you would be thinking the same thing, knowing that if Sasuke were to be forcefully brought back to this village, he would hate every single thing here. So that leads me to believe that even if he was there, you'd have allowed him to escape, to go and fight his brother, and if he died, he died. But ever if he come back, he will, because you grant him his freedom, and he would not dare to run away while you gave him that freedom. Now why would I do that, said Naruto. He's a missing nin, and I do serve Konoha. Yes, but if you did brought him back, he would just be a problem for this village, and I would be forced to lock him up. However, if you did allow him to go free and fight his brother, in the case of him dying, that meant this situation would be over, but if he did kill Itachi, he would come back to the village because he still has a home here, and you would have assured him of that, wouldn't you? If the situations were reversed, I guess I would have. Yes, you would, she said as she sipped on her steak. What are you implying, Naruto asked. Oh, nothing, she said. Besides, having the problem outside of Konoha is better than having it inside of the village. I'm just speculating, she said. But, as I said, it's just speculation. I suppose you're right, said Naruto. As Tsunade gave him a look, however, she said nothing about it. This was merely a theory, however. She knew if Naruto were to find Sasuke, he would not bring him back. He said to himself, his feelings regarding Sasuke's betrayal are complicated. Sasuke did not kill a single Konoha shinobi, nor did he allow one to die. Because of his actions, even though they were wounded, none of them died. And not to mention, if Sasuke came back to the village, forcefully was brought back, and he did not kill his brother, he would be a problem for the entire village. Because he would be relentless about getting what he wants. And Tsunade would not allow him to go free. She would throw him in prison. So, allowing him to fight his brother was the best thing. However, she was not questioning Naruto's loyalty because for the majority of his life he had spent serving his village and do whatever it is necessary. After all, as Hokage, she was able to look over his past envoy reports, which were hard to find. You had to have proper clearance, and she was one of the few that can do this. And through her clearance, she was able to see the things that he has done for this village. How much he sacrificed for his home, so she would not question his loyalty. However, if he did do what she thought, it was the right thing to do. She was going to speak to him about this morning, however, because of Sakura, she did not know whether to give him this agreement or not. But now, if he did that, it was a good thing to do. She looked at him before she looked towards the wall, looking at the photo of Minato as she switched it with the image of Naruto, as she thought about it in her mind. He had the power, he had the strength, he had everything that was necessary to become a Hokage. Hey, Naruto, she said, you know, I never asked your opinion on this, but how do you feel about becoming the Hokage? Naruto raised an eyebrow. You're making me the Hokage? No, I'm just asking your opinion. I mean, you never talk about that. Given your progress and the way you're rising through the elemental nation, and not to mention your goal, you could be known as one of the strongest Kages ever lived, even surpassing the likes of my grandfather. A hard feat to do, but if anyone can do it, I believe you can. As Naruto leaned his head back in the sofa, she nudged him on the shoulder. So, what do you think? He remembered what Gaara had said to him. Being Hokage, he thought to himself, as he's never really given any thought, as he supposed the path that he was going to do, he should. Time skip. A few weeks later, news came out that Naruto killed Orochimaru. Guren was allowed to leave with Yukimaru, as they obliged her with what she wanted to do. She was more than happy to just take him and get the hell out of here, as she said she didn't want to be here. And Yukimaru went along with her. He had no idea where they went or what they were up to, however. That did not concern him because that was their thing. It has been a few weeks since his battle with the snake. The reputation of his name has only gotten higher and higher, with him killing the snake Sanin. There has been no mention about Sasuke or the Elemental Nation. Jiraiya hasn't been able to get any information so far. However, Sasuke was out there. He has already gathered the necessary team that he wanted, and he was making his way after his brother to end his life once and for all, as Naruto words were still on his mind. After all, he did want to redeem his clan and make it great once again. and Konoha was the place that he was gonna do that. However, Naruto bought him time and allowed him the freedom that he needed to do this. And he was now in charge of a team that would get him close to killing Itachi. As for Naruto groaned as he rubbed his head. As you remember, a gathering with most of the rookies from Konoha. Well, he knew most of them. Most of them felt a bit starstruck around him because he was just so out of their leagues. So last night, Sakura forced him to come with them, and they were forced to hang out. However, they get along quite well. Ino was there as well. As Naruto was confused, where was he? His mind trying to recollect what happened. As he was in his bed. That is when he noticed that there was someone beside him. Someone under the sheets. As Naruto raised the eyebrow as he wondered, who the hell was under there? He slowly grabbed the top of the sheet and leaned it down. And his eyes widened. What the hell did he do? But guys, if you end up right here, if you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off for now, see you guys soon. Peace.